Hello, Flosstube. Um, this is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my Flosstube update number 113. Today is Saturday afternoon, April the 18th. For those of you who have lost count of the days already. And I want to say welcome to any new viewers, and welcome back to my subscribers. And we're going to talk about cross stitch and a little bit about a few new items in the Etsy shop. Let me go ahead and get the Etsy stuff out of the way right first. Last week I talked about a project bag with this fabric. And so now there's also a Notions pouch, has a snap closure, and has these little bees on the inside and big bees on the outside. And like I said, it has a snap closure. It's about 5 inches across, and probably about 5 deep. And like I said, there's a matching project bag in the Etsy shop. And then there's a new one. Ooh, this one, there's a bee fabric thing lately. Big little bees here, and a little sparkly there, and some big bees down here, and this fabric on the bottom. And again, with handles, there's big bees on the handle. And there's a bee little charm on the zipper pull. And then on the inside is that black bee fabric. So, and this again measures about, I want to say 14 inches deep, 14 by 15, something like that. Anyway, it's, I don't know, I forget. But you can easily put an 11-inch Q-snap in here. So it's pretty big. And like I said, there's a little matching Notions pouch here with it. Again, with the big bees and little bees fabric. And the snap closure. And this is, again, it's about 5 by 5-ish. The little pouch. So these will be in the Etsy shop. If they're not in there now, they will be shortly. And then also in the Etsy shop, I had talked about these little chore flips. So again, here's the one with the dog. Fed or not fed. Fed and not fed. And the sad dog with the empty bowl. The happy dog with a full bowl. So you could put, there's an alphabet thing. I think you could put your dog's name there. And this one is cut out in the shape of a bone, but you don't have to do that if you want to. You can just do it straight. But and this one is on vinyl Aida. Just a little bit of like batting to give it some squish. And there's a little chain, and we decided to do these all. Hold on one second. We decided to do these all with a little hanging chain thing. And then again with this beaded chain so you can turn it over. So what I was unceremoniously holding was the homework one. So this, you can put your child's name here. Homework is and done on the one side. See all the toys or the playthings, whatever, and not done on the other side. And I did this on just a scrap of even weave that I had. So you can blanket stitch around it if you want, or finish it however you want. But anyway, so again, it has a little hanger and beaded chain, so you could hang it, at your kid's workstation. It's going to be a little unusual for a while with the stay-at-home things and online school and whatever, but maybe it's more useful now. I don't know. But anyway, the homework and the dog one are there. So those will also be added to the Etsy shop. The patterns for those, and the cross stitch patterns are all PDF downloads. So that's easy to get, and there's no shipping with those. And with the things like the project bags, those are I think if the order is $35 or more, it's free shipping, something like that. So anyway, yeah, those are those that are in the Etsy shop. So that's an update for that. Okay, so let's talk about cross stitch, shall we? I'm gonna I'll get to that in a minute. So for whips, I didn't pull these out of the project bag, so I have my ouch, my lovely kitty bag sent to me by Ruth, one of my viewers, and so I have the Dragon Biscornu in here, and I worked on it a little bit. If I can hold on a second. I'm not sure the chart would help. This one, the Dragon Biscornu by Tinymodernist. It's part of her, it was part of her Biscornu the Month Club, I think, and some time ago. But it's, she has these patterns, I guess, after they're in the month club, you can get them individually. So this one is the Dragon Biscornu, excuse me. And I worked somewhat on this. Let me get it right up. Well, the way I'm looking at it, this is the top and this is the bottom. So I have all the stitches going the right way. So all the regular stitching is done. I finished these other two bottom dragons. And I did a little bit of the back stitching here and some up here. But I still have these two areas and these two areas that have this little green vine thing in them. And if you notice, it's a little bit of difference in, I think it's this one, because the orange things this orange one thing is slightly off. So this is a little bit longer. But, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. So, like I said, after I do this little back stitching in places, then I do the one line that frames this picture, and then I'll move on to the back. And this one is a little bit more involved than the gnome Biscornu that I did before. Again, it has just the outline back stitching again to that both pieces have, but then the stitching around it goes all the way around the square side. So what did I do with the picture? I don't know if you can see it. You can't really see it very well in this picture. Here is the only place it shows, but it goes all the way around the square. So it's a little bit easier to place. You don't have to do just the corners. And so that's the Dragon Biscornu. That was one thing I worked on. And I'm almost done. I don't know, with that one side. I don't know what's, keeping me from doing it. But, and then the other thing I worked on was this bunny in my other bag that Ruth sent me. Yeah, it's cute. Very springy. But this one is spring delivery. And I worked on it just a little bit in the last couple of days. This here, spring delivery by Scattered Seed Samplers. So, and I don't have the companion piece, which is Spring Gathering. I don't have that one, but I probably will eventually. Anyway, so I worked on it. Oopsie. a little bit, just long enough to find a mistake I made. So I finished the basket, this bottom part of the basket, and I added this top part. But there's a little bit, kind of like this, a little diagonal line over here that I didn't do because I made a boo-boo right here. This is, if you notice, this is, there's like 2 rows right here. And then here, there's supposed to be 2 rows, and this is supposed to be over 1 row. This, and this are 1 row too far over. So, so I could unstitch, but I would have to do, like this is, like I said, 1 stitch over too far. I would have to undo that, and this, and this, and this. And so I think, in looking at the pattern, I think I can fudge this area in here, because there's 3 little chicks, and there's some like grassy stuff, you know. So I could do just 1 extra square of the grassy stuff. But the problem is right here, I have to look at the pattern a little more closely to see if I can, because the chick that goes right here will be over 1. So this handle, you know, whether I put an extra stitch in here, right here, to make this 3 instead of 2, or whatever, so that this handle looks right coming down here, because there's a chick that you know, its rear end goes right here in the way of the handle. So how this comes down may or may not, you know, if you know, what I'm looking at is the angle correct. So yeah, so I may have to put the chicks in first and then finish the handle of the basket. But otherwise, the basket is finished. There's something that feels weird right there. But so I just worked a little bit on that. Like I said, finishing the basket and finding out that I made a mistake. You know, and it was one of those that I misspoke last week. I said Home Alone, which is of course the name of a movie, and Hometown is the name of the television series that I watch. That's it's a renovation thing, like the Fixer Upper that now I can't say their names. The Magnolia Farms thing, anyway. But Hometown is like that. It's similar. Laurel, Mississippi is where it takes place. But anyway, it's a husband and wife, and the husband's, you know, has said on more than one occasion, you know, because he's kind of like, he does carpentry and stuff like that. So he said, you know, count twice, cuss once. So measure twice, cuss once. So with stitching, it's count twice, cuss once. And what happened is, right up next to his body, in this row here, there's 1 X that I finished. That's in this other color. That I did the square, and then I did a half stitch. Since I'm an out and back stitcher, I did half stitch out here, and in counting it, I forgot to count that completed square. So I was counting starting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's like 32, I think, stitches out this way, and I counted it, but I counted it starting 1 over. So I kept counting this, and I counted this row, and I was like, well, I know this row is only supposed to be, you know, 1 stitch beyond these little columns here, and then, you know, there's 2 rows at that height, and then this is supposed to be here, but this is supposed to be over here. And so I was like, why is this number right and this number right, but they don't match? You know, they don't line up right. That's because, yeah, I miscounted this row because I forgot to count this little teeny square. And the colors are so close together, you can't really see them. So anyway, so I should be able to fudge that, because I don't want to, because in order to undo it, I have to kind of snip the thread and then restitch this whole section right here, and I don't want to have to do that. So I'm hoping that I can just fudge it a little bit, make it work. So anyway, there's that. And then I have a new start. Let me put that over here. Oops, let me zip it so I don't spill it. I have a new start. And this is, I was going to do this for my cats. It's this la-di-da kitty. And I was going to try to, change these to look more like my cats. But it was going to be a pretty difficult, radical change. Because this is done on black fabric. And so it's all kind of greens and grays, and browns. But anyway, one of my cats is black and white. It's mostly black with white puck, And then my other cat is white with just a few little, stripy patches here and there. So changing these two cats is going to be very difficult. Well, then my younger sister's cats, Pippin and Tyler. Tyler passed away just on Thursday and had a very difficult passing. And Pippin, Tyler's brother from another mother, Pippin died in January. So, both of their cats are now gone. And so I decided to do these two cats because Pippin and Tyler, Pippin had long hair, almost like a Maine Coon kind of cross. He looked like a Maine Coon. And Tyler had short hair, and he was tall. Gosh, he was like a small dog. He was bigger than my cats, and you've seen my cats are pretty big. Puck is normal size, and Snug is a bit larger. He's chubby. He's chunky, and Pippin is about. Pippin was had lots of fur. He had lots of hair like a Maine Coon. He was, and he was a biggish cat. He wasn't huge, but he was big. And then Tyler though was taller and bigger, and he had big paws. I mean, he was a big cat. Anyway, but they were remarkably similar in color. That sort of gray and black and brown kind of stripy mix. And so anyway, so I thought about Teresa Kogut did a freebie not long ago. Back in December, January, something like that, because my first thought had been that I was going to adapt that the freebie, because it's a cat jumping over a willow and a couple of houses, and I was going to adapt that cat to look like Pippin, give it longer hair and then change the color, because she had it charted as in sort of I guess off yellow color or whatever. But then I thought, that's got to be really difficult. And I actually, and then when Tyler passed away, I thought, well, maybe I could do two cats jumping over this willow and blah, 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 blah. But I was looking at it and it was just kind of, just difficult for me. So I think I'm going to do this and just leave them with this little striping that they have on here. And do this for Pippin and Tyler, and maybe do something here with their names or their initials or something, over here. But so yeah, so I think I'm going to do this. But the problem I have is that I'm not using the black that's called for. This is a dark green by The Primitive Hair. It's a 30 count linen, So it's slightly different. I think on the model it's a 32 count, and this is a 30 count. But so I've started on one of the cats. This is his tail, and this is the cat's back and his back leg, and then this is the tree. You know, started on the tree. But this color is I pulled the colors for this kit. I mean, for this design, I kitted it up, and I think this color, yeah, this is the color of the cat's, oopsie, sorry, hang on, a bunch of loose threads in my hand, sorry. This is the color that the cat's bodies are supposed to be, and it's basically almost the same color as the fabric. So I think I'm going to go with a gray that'll show up on this green fabric. And this is sort of a I want to say off-white color, you know, that is the stripe. So I think I want to go with maybe a light gray for the cat's bodies. And then it's used, you know, again for these this part of the border, I think, and stuff. So I may do just that again, that gray color that the cats are, you know, in this border. But yeah, so it's hard. And the thing is this is it's kind of slow going because it's very difficult to see. You know, I'm trying all the tricks. I have, you know, white fabric underneath it, and you know, and then the other thing that's difficult is this this linen is it's just you know, a lot of excess, and so I'm looking to, I may have to clip it or something because it's always getting in the way. It's kind of a little big. It's always getting in my way, and it's, you know, it's like it's very crucial. I mean, okay, I think this is in the right place, and then this thing flops over out of the, you know, yeah. So it makes it difficult. So I think I'm gonna, yeah, do something with this. Anyway, so so this is my new start on Lottie Daw's Kitty Kitty, and then I have a finish. I have a finish. This is a little freebie pattern by, let me get this right here, by Lindy Stitches, Stephanie Webb of Lindy Stitches, called Peter's Day Out. Peter's Day Out by Lindy Stitches. She's becoming one of my new favorite designers. She has some really cute designs. I was looking at her. She did a video for her designs that were going to be released at market, and they're just, I was like writing them down. I want this one. I want this one. I want this one. But yeah. So anyway, I did Peter's Day Out. I did change up the colors a little bit. It's all DMC that's called for. And the only one I used that was in the called for threads was this brown for the rabbit. And I gave him a blue eye just because. And his little nose is pinky. And I think the pink on his nose was called for. But there were nothing for his ears. So I used the pink on his ears as well. And there was nothing charted for his eye or for this little... I guess that's supposed to be his hip. But so I did do blue for his eye, and I did white stitching here for his hip, just because. And then, so this yellow is not the DMC that's called for, but it's just a yellow that I had handy. So I used that. And then, yeah, so, and then his pants... it's not the blue that's called for, but I had this blue étoile. So there's a little bit of sparkle. You can't see, you can see a little bit of it on the video, but I put some sparkly, give him some sparkly pants. And I used that same blue for his eye over here. And then the green is a DMC satin. I think that's what they're called, DMC satin floss. But I did the green there. And this is the called for white. You know, I think it just says Blanc. I used B5200 because I had it. And then this pink is not the call for pink, but it's just like I said, it's a DMC pink that I had. And then I used an étoile for this flower here, these middle flowers. So these are sparkly also. There's a bit of sparkle. But anyway, so yeah, so there's Peter's Day Out. And I don't know how I'm going to finish it. I might do a little pillow to go with my little, excuse me, Priscilla's pocket things. I found the little cards that came with these. This one is Stoneware Cat. And this one is Stoneware Kitten. So these are the Priscilla's pocket things. So I might do, excuse my face, sorry. I might do this one as a little pillow also to go with that. So that's cute. So yeah, the way she has it finished in a little pillow also. So yeah, there's Peter's Day Out. Yay. And I have a bunch of the Be Well and Stitch freebies, you know, printed out. What I want to do is I want to do something for one of my neighbors. I think I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this last week. One of our neighbors has given us cookies. Like they put them on the thing and ring the doorbell and leave, and they're out there, you know, for us to. I think, you know, by the time the bell rings and somebody goes, you know, makes it over to the door, and you know, they're gone already. But it's my understanding that it's our next door neighbor. Anyway, so I thought, well, maybe I can stitch one of those Be Well and Stitch designs. There's one or two that I'm looking at that I think I'm gonna try to stitch for the neighbors. But anyway, I showed last time. I showed this part of this. This is not quite done. I have to stitch this bottom part here, but I stuffed it yesterday. But this is my Sweet Marmalade mouse. Yeah, so I stuffed that. I just have to sew the bottom part together. I use this maroon colored fabric, and I had to kind of put some interfacing on this fabric too, because it was very sheer. You could basically see through it, and I thought it would be better if I to give it a little bit of backing. So there's iron-on fusible fabric on the back of both of these sides. But yeah, this tiny mouse lives in a house beneath the berry shade. He gathers up the ripest fruit and makes sweet marmalade. I think he's so cute. He's the cutest mouse you ever did see, and his little berries and his little basket. But yeah, so I worked on. I just haven't stitched the bottom, the closure yet. And so, as far as haul goes, I did do some online shopping. I bought a bunch of Week Starworks threads just because they were threads that were. I think I talked about this last time. They were threads that were called for one of the Be Well and Stitch things. I think is where I got them from. That I was gonna stitch, and it called for Week Starworks threads, and there was only one color, I think, of all of them that I had. And so I went ahead and was, you know, a general excuse to order Week Starworks threads. So I did. And then the other thing, hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. So the other thing I went ahead and ordered a bunch of Week Starworks threads, so hopefully they'll be here soon. And the other thing I ordered was a blue flower chart summer squirrel. You know, the one with the little baby squirrel wearing an acorn cap. But anyway, so I ordered that one. I've been wanting that one for a long time. I want all of the blue flower designs mostly. Huckleberry Farm. I really, you know, am not a big fan of big giant sampler kind of things like that, but Huckleberry Farm I really like. I just yeah, I really like it. So I might eventually get it. But anyway, then I also printed off a bunch of the Be Well things, and this is so cute. This little, it's a bunny with a little backpack and the flowers coming out of the backpack, and he's holding a little flower. I just think that's adorable. So I printed that off, and then I also printed off this light, Barbara Ann Designs light freebie. It's a fox with a light. And also this one here by Brooks Books. We got this. There's little animals wearing masks. So those are really cute. I got those. And I was very excited because my issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher came. I went ahead and got a subscription, but this one they had already released, so my subscription starts with the summer issue. But I wanted to get my hands on this spring issue, and so yeah, so I went ahead and ordered it separately, and I was very excited to get it. And of course I want to do this spring tulip spun, but I also want to do this hair. I think, what's it called? Hair etching or something like that. Cecilia Turner and Heart and Hand. And this is, of course, Priscilla and Chelsea's design. Excuse me. Coronavirus. Yeah, I want to do the hair etching. And there's some really cute designs. And, you know, I don't do punch needle. But there's some really nice punch needle designs in here as well. I just, you know, it's one other thing I don't do. So, but somewhere in here is that. Oh, I want to do this one also. I like this one also. This is a Teresa Kogut design, chocolate bunny. Chocolate, is that what it's called? Yeah, chocolate bunny. That is so cute. And then the other one, I have it in here somewhere. But like I said, there's a bunch of really cute designs in here. Well, yeah, here it is. Spring hair etching. Spring hair etching. A lot of people have already, some people have already stitched it and already finished it. But that's, yeah, it's so cute. Anyway, so I think that's about it. Let me check my notes here real quick. Yeah, that's it. As if that wasn't enough. So, yeah, I want desperately to finish that, what do you call it? The Dragon Biscornu. I finished stitching the gnome Biscornu. I just have to, like, you know, be brave and work on finishing it. And I downloaded, what do you call it? Another Biscornu pattern. I think Joan Elliott designed it. But it's one with bunnies, bunny Biscornu. And it's very kind of purpley, you know, some purple color or whatever. But I want to do that one as well. I'm on a Biscornu kick. But and then I have one in my stash. I think it's called Western Biscornu. It's a Tinymodernist design also. But so and that one is about, it's not quite as done as as these others, but it's got more of the background. I did it last year at Stitch Shenanigans. This is the weekend that Stitch Shenanigans would have been going on. This Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It was in my calendar. But in this time, things have been canceled right and left. But hopefully we'll be able to do it all in October, which is a great time here in the Phoenix area. October is usually a good time of year. That's when I moved out here, in October. But so we should be able, hopefully, to do everything in October instead. But so I have things to finish. I'm gonna try to do that spring delivery to see if how well those chicks fit. If I can fudge that and not have to redo that basket handle. And finish off that Dragon Biscornu. If I can finish it, then I'll just have the Western Biscornu and the Bunny Biscornu, and I want to, maybe I can, stitch them all and do them all at the same time, and, or not. Maybe I'll do them one at a time. I don't know. But yeah, so I want to do a lot more stitching than I'm able to do. It seems like I ought to be able to do a lot, just because I don't have a job to go to, but just between like today I have to do cat maintenance, as I say, which means all the sort of everybody who has a cat understands you have to do, every now and then you have to do cat maintenance, and so things like that just get in the way. But, but I ought to be, have all the time in the world to do stitching. So you would think I would get more done, but, so yeah, anyway, I hope to get those things further along, my whips further along, because really I don't have much to finish but that Peter Day Out. And I started that on Easter Sunday, and I finished it like Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, probably in the wee hours of Thursday. Yeah, but so I said, I want to do one of the Be Well and Stitched. Well, Be Well, not the word stitched, necessarily for our neighbor. But so I want to look through those and see what might be appropriate to give them. Just to say thank you. That was one of the things that I was thinking of, that I wanted to say. I wanted to thank whoever was doing it, the anonymous person who was giving us these cookies and being nice enough to check on us. And I don't know if she's doing it for the whole neighborhood or whatever. I'm assuming, and not just for us, but I thought, it would be nice to say thank you in some way. So anyway, that's, I thought, well, I could do that. I could do one of those Be Well patterns, and just be, finish it as in a frame or something or whatever, or as a flat fold maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so that's it, I think, and I will see you all next time. Again, I'm phantastitches, and I'm in the Friday Off the Grid group, Stitching with the Housewives group, and the embroidery.com group as Elizabeth Martinez, and on Instagram as Fantagray. Although on Instagram, I don't necessarily post as much about stitching on there, just because I've never have. It's been my personal page more, but I do post once in a while on there as well, on Instagram. There was one other thing I was going to say. Oh, embroidery.com. I had joined there for the month of February. They were doing a stitch every day kind of thing. And I completed all of that through the 29th. That was when I started that spring delivery on the 29th. But as a new start on the 29th. But so I did the whole month. Excuse me. A little coughing fit there. But so I got an email the other day from her with a little code to get the needle minder. That was a prize for finishing doing all 29 days. Or I guess you were allowed a few missed days, because people have lives. But I did all those days. You'd post like a before picture and an after picture, to show your progress each day of your stitching. And then the 29th was a mandatory stitch day. And so if you did all those things, the prize was a needle minder. So I have it needle minder. I have to go online and like put in the code and all that stuff. But yeah, so I'll have that coming. And I ordered one from Caterpillar Cross Stitch too, I think, a long time ago. So I have that one. I have that one coming eventually. But so anyway, yay, needle minders. Okay, so I think I will see you next time, and hopefully I'll have even more progress. All right. Thanks. Bye.